2025 is shaping up to be a devastating year in the retail industry. Iconic brands, household names, and even industry giants are on the edge of collapse. Thousands of jobs are at risk as stores close, revenues collapse, and once thriving businesses struggle to survive. If you thought the retail apocalypse was finished, think again. This is the next wave, and it will hit harder than ever. Today, we'll look at the 15 major shops risking massive layoffs next year. Some of the names on this list may truly surprise you. Let's start with number 15. 15. Sears was once a retail giant with its name synonymous with American success. What about now? It's a frightening reminder of what happens when a behemoth fails to adapt to the quickly changing world of e-commerce and shifting consumer preferences. Experts anticipate that 2025 will see one of the largest mass layoffs in Sears' troubled history. The signs have been there for years. Despite numerous store closures, asset sales, and cost-cutting initiatives, the company's downward trend appears inexorable. In 2023, Sears reported a stunning 15% decrease in revenue from the prior year. By mid-2024, leadership openly revealed that they were reducing quicker than expected, with fewer than 100 outlets left in the United States. Consider this. Hundreds of locations disappeared in just a decade. However, the actual storm is yet to arrive. Analysts warn that unless a big debt restructuring is completed by early 2025, Sears may be compelled to lay off thousands of employees just to keep the lights on. Attempts to stay afloat, such as merging with Kmart, opening smaller locations, and releasing new product lines, have failed to reverse the tide. The challenges are huge. Sears has lost its primary audience. Its e-commerce operations fall well behind competitors. Discount chains with lower prices and cleverer promotions have taken control. Even private equity investors, who were once optimistic about the brand, are now backing out. Employees are left in limbo, unsure of their future. Insiders consider Sears' planned layoffs as perhaps among the largest in modern retail history. 14 Kmart, Sears' longtime partner under the same corporate roof, isn't doing any better. In fact, 2025 is shaping up to be a disaster for this once popular department store brand. The downturn has been festering for several years. Since the mid-2010s, Kmart has substantially reduced its presence. By 2023, its financial reports revealed a 12% reduction in year-over-year sales, a strong indication that the brand is struggling to compete. Rumors of future shop closures began to circulate in early 2024, with insiders speculating that hundreds more underperforming stores will close. If the situation does not improve, at least 5,000 people may face layoffs by 2025. What exactly went wrong? Kmart struggles to stand out in a crowded field of bargain retailers such as Walmart and Target. Its e-commerce launch has been slow, alienating customers who prefer online convenience. Many of its storefronts appear antiquated and understocked, pushing people away. Furthermore, the brand's parent corporation has shifted its resources to keep Sears solvent, leaving Kmart impoverished and unable to execute a full-scale turnaround. Experts warn that if no large investor steps in, Kmart may be forced to close its doors in 2025. There are thousands of jobs at stake, and the clock is ticking. Stay tuned, for the rest of this list demonstrates just how severe the retail crisis is. 13 JCPenney, a staple of American retail since the early 20th century, is facing what could be one of its most difficult years yet. The corporation is preparing for a large wave of layoffs in 2025 as it battles to remain competitive in a harsh retail environment. When JCPenney emerged from bankruptcy in 2020, many hoped the brand had a chance to make a comeback, particularly under the ownership of retail titans Simon Property Group and Brookfield Asset Management. But the momentum did not persist. By the end of 2023, same-store sales had fallen by 9%, indicating that the issues would not be resolved anytime soon. Management attempted to turn things around by modernizing shop design, launching private labels, and investing in digital channels. However, these efforts have been insufficient to reverse years of structural decline. Foot traffic, particularly in suburban locations where JCPenney formerly flourished, continued to decline in 2024. To reduce losses, the business closed approximately 30 underperforming stores that year. However, sources caution that this may only be the beginning. Internal indications indicate that 2025 will see considerable reorganization, including layoffs that might affect thousands of employees at both the shop and corporate levels. What's causing this upheaval? E-commerce dominance. Customers are increasingly choosing online platforms over traditional brick-and-mortar establishments. Inventory issues. Ongoing supply chain interruptions and poor inventory management are reducing business margins even more. Rising operational costs. As expenses rise, the company is running out of ways to remain profitable. JCPenney is looking into collaborations and new revenue streams, but analysts believe it won't be enough to halt the hemorrhage. For committed customers, this may mean fewer stores, fewer employees on the floor, and a very different JCPenney experience in the near future. 12 Macy's, a name nearly synonymous with American department shops, is not immune to the retail industry's instability. In fact, 2025 could be one of the most difficult years in the company's long existence. Despite strong holiday sales in 2023, Macy's reported a 7% reduction in yearly sales compared to 2022. Who is the culprit? A combination of lackluster mid-tier product performance and the ongoing customer move toward internet buying. Macy's has taken dramatic steps to adapt, investing extensively in its omni-channel strategy, curbside pickup, and site-to-store fulfillment services. However, foot traffic at major places continues to fall, a pattern that will exacerbate in 2024 as inflation tightens household finances. Behind the scenes, Macy's is already slashing costs. In late 2023, the corporation reduced retail hours and consolidated distribution locations. Now, speculations of large-scale layoffs in 2025 are becoming louder, with thousands of jobs potentially at stake if year-end results do not improve. Critics claim that Macy's has been too sluggish to modernize, particularly in terms of appealing to younger shoppers and providing a more engaging in-store experience. They point to stale layouts. Many stores appear outmoded and fail to inspire today's customers. Inventory hiccups, stock inconsistencies irritate clients looking for diversity. Lagging transformation strategies. Initiatives such as the Polaris Plan have fallen short of expectations. If Macy's leadership fails to turn things around fast, the planned layoffs may do more than just cut expenses. They may accelerate the chain's descent into irrelevance. The brand that previously distinguished itself with high-end service and a diverse product offering risks becoming yet another casualty of the digital age. 11th, Nordstrom, once synonymous with upmarket department store shopping, will face a harsh reality in 2025. According to insiders, the firm is planning for its largest downsizing exercise in recent history. For decades, Nordstrom has set the benchmark for exceptional customer service and expertly picked items. However, even its great reputation has not been enough to overcome the issues confronting traditional retail. Foot traffic to Nordstrom stores fell 6% in 2023, followed by a 4% dip in quarterly sales in 2024 as inflation slowed consumer spending. Although Nordstrom's e-commerce operations have increased moderately, they have not been able to compensate for losses in its physical stores. What's worse? Even Nordstrom Rack, along the company's most promising growth engine, has struggled to fulfill expectations. This demonstrates that even its bargain division is susceptible to economic headwinds. Behind the scenes, pressure is building. Shareholders want leaner operations and more competitive pricing to reclaim budget-conscious shoppers who are moving to online giants. Efforts to revamp iconic stores with modern layouts and new brand collaborations have not resulted in the turnaround executives had hoped for. To make matters worse, supply chain problems in 2023 left shelves bare and service standards eroding. Labor shortages added another layer of operational hardship. Rumors of layoffs began to circulate in late 2024, with internal memoranda pointing to workforce realignments. If sales do not increase by early 2025, thousands of jobs may be at risk, hurting both frontline shop employees and corporate teams. While Nordstrom's executives point to luxury resale expansions and gains in online shopping as reasons for confidence, analysts remain cautious. Unless severe adjustments are done, Nordstrom may be compelled to dramatically reduce costs, eroding its once unrivaled reputation for great in-person service. Kohl's has long been regarded as a trustworthy mid-tier retailer, providing a mix of national brands, private labels, and appealing coupon discounts. but beneath the surface, fissures are emerging, and 2025 might be a watershed moment for the network. By the end of 2023, Kohl's reported a 5% reduction in year-over-year revenues, owing to strong competition and declining in-store traffic. The early months of 2024 did not provide much relief either. Sluggish consumer spending and inventory errors continued to harm the retailer's performance. To react, Kohl's increased its e-commerce capabilities, establishing a more user-friendly. While these adjustments have helped, they have not been sufficient to counterbalance the challenges in its vast physical retail network, where rising prices and hesitant shoppers are taking their toll. What is producing the pressure? Kohl's is trapped in the middle. It's neither inexpensive enough to compete with discount stores nor upscale enough to attract rich visitors. Recent partnerships, such as Amazon Returns and in-store curated experiences, initially increased foot traffic but slowed by mid-2024. Insiders say Kohl's leadership is becoming increasingly concerned about profitability. Rumors of big layoffs in 2025 are spreading, with anticipated cuts aimed at underperforming stores and corporate positions in marketing, merchandising, and operations. Kohl's has been looking for new development tactics, including redesigning store layouts and pursuing brand collaborations. However, with mounting debt commitments and a quickly shifting consumer base going online, severe steps may be necessary. For a retailer that formerly appeared stable in the face of retail change, 2025 might mark the start of a much more difficult battle for survival. 9 Bed Bath & Beyond, once a staple of home products and housewares, is facing an uncertain future as it enters 2025. Industry experts foresee widespread layoffs, maybe among the greatest in the retail sector. It's no secret that the corporation is struggling. Bed Bath & Beyond has been locked in a vicious cycle of declining consumer demand, tightening credit limits, and store closures for the past 2 years. In 2023, the shop recorded a shocking 14% loss in same-store sales, owing primarily to intense competition from internet giants and big box retailers. By 2024, the situation had gotten worse. Supply chain bottlenecks and increased freight prices put the company's finances further into the red, stoking concerns about large-scale layoffs and additional store closures. The company's efforts to reinvent itself have been met with mediocre results. Strategies such as redesigning store layouts and establishing new private label products advertised as premium yet affordable failed to generate the necessary revenue rise. Meanwhile, buyers are flocking to online competitors that offer faster shipping, better rates, and an unlimited selection. Even once popular loyalty schemes have lost their attractiveness as customers seek better bargains elsewhere. Without a significant infusion of funds or a game-changing recovery strategy, 2025 may see another painful round of store closures and layoffs that are expected to touch thousands of people. For a company that was once the go-to destination for home products, this downward spiral serves as a sobering reminder of how quickly consumer preferences change in today's retail market. 8 Best Buy, the nation's largest electronics retailer, is bracing for a stormy 2025, with layoffs that may outstrip its prior downsizing attempts from the mid-2000s teens. By the end of 2023, in-store transactions at Best Buy had decreased by 5% year-on-year, owing to fierce competition from e-commerce behemoths providing lower prices and lightning-fast delivery. The situation exacerbated in 2024 when global supply chain issues raised prices for high-demand products such as TVs, gaming systems, and smartphones, putting additional strain on the company's already razor-thin profits. While Best Buy's online sales have increased, they have not been sufficient to offset the decrease in foot visitation. Leadership is already wrestling with difficult issues, including the risk of major layoffs to reduce costs in 2025. To remain competitive, the company launched various efforts in 2023, including subscription-based technical support services, upgraded in-store pickup systems, an enlarged private label product line. However, these attempts have failed to rekindle the pandemic-era IT boom, which previously drove strong sales. As inflation continues to wreak havoc on budgets, many consumers are deferring renovations or choosing less expensive options. Best Buy has struggled with inventory management, resulting in regular mismatches between supply and demand. This has hampered profitability and made underperforming stores especially vulnerable. If sales do not rise sufficiently by early 2025, industry sources believe that thousands of jobs, including frontline retail and corporate positions, will be at risk. Observers fear that without a strong strategic reset, Best Buy may be compelled to make drastic cuts, eroding its individualized customer service, a fundamental component that has historically distinguished it in the electronics retail market. GameStop has long been on the verge of a big upheaval, and 2025 might see layoffs on a historic scale for the video game store. The warning signs have been evident. In 2023, GameStop reported a 9% reduction in year-over-year sales, a troubling trend in an industry that relies heavily on digital game distribution and steady console demand. Despite its spectacular ascension to meme stock status in 2021, GameStop is unable to convert its momentary popularity into long-term growth. By late 2024, internal reports showed a significant drop in foot traffic across nearly all U.S. businesses. Consumers increasingly choose online marketplaces that provide more options and faster shipment for both physical and digital products. At the same time, increased operational costs, from rent to wages, have eroded the retailer's already thin profit margins. Supply chain concerns in 2024 simply fueled the fire. Inventory shortages of in-demand commodities, such as new release consoles, left dissatisfied customers empty-handed during critical sales periods, particularly the holidays. Efforts to diversify by offering collector products, PC gaming sections, and even dabbling in NFTs have failed to bring the cash boost executives were hoping for. Rumors of potential layoffs first circulated in mid-2023 when GameStop secretly downsized its corporate workforce. Analysts foresee massive job losses in 2025, perhaps affecting thousands of shop personnel and corporate positions. Store redundancy, where numerous stores in close proximity cut into each other's profits, is also being investigated. These initiatives have the potential to change a once dominant gaming brand's footprint and culture in ways fans and employees never anticipated. Without a major turnaround in indicators like as holiday sales or e-commerce growth, GameStop may be forced to rely significantly on layoffs to address its financial issues. Sixth Rite Aid, one of America's largest drugstore chains, is preparing for massive layoffs in 2025 as it tries to adjust to a more competitive retail pharmacy environment. The company's recent history has been far from flawless. In 2023, Rite Aid reported a 4% decrease in same-store sales in its front-end retail category compared to 2022. This trend persisted into 2024, exacerbated by growing payroll costs due to a tight labor market and fierce competition from digital health platforms that provide home delivery for prescriptions and over-the-counter pharmaceuticals. Rite Aid has attempted to modernize by introducing wellness-focused store ideas and redesigned layouts, but these modifications have done nothing to offset its losses. Internal audits identified chronic inventory management difficulties, which resulted in prescription medications being out of stock at high-traffic sites. Customers turned to competitors with stronger supply chains and greater availability as a result of these shortages. Corporate leaders have predicted that 2025 will be a watershed moment, with plans for radical restructuring to address increasing debt and a diminishing client base. Analysts believe that the firm would close underperforming stores and reduce headcounts, not only at the shop level, but also among management and corporate teams. Rite Aid has also struggled to acquire momentum in telehealth services, leaving it unprepared to compete with online-first healthcare providers, which have grown in popularity since the epidemic. With intense competition from both independent pharmacies and major chains such as CVS, Rite Aid has few options but to cut costs. Unless the company can stabilize its finances and regain its foothold in the congested retail pharmacy market, thousands of employees may face mass layoffs as the chain struggles to stay afloat in a fast-changing industry. 5. Staples, formerly the go-to source for office supplies, is preparing for big layoffs in 2025 as the shift toward digital solutions and remote work continues to undercut its old business model. After numerous waves of shop closures in 2023 and 2024, the company is under increasing pressure to reduce even further. Staples initially sought to profit on the increase in home office spending caused by remote work trends. However, by mid-2023, decreased discretionary consumer spending and severe internet competition had hampered the recovery, Analysts predict a 7% reduction in foot traffic in 2023, adding to the financial strain on its brick-and-mortar stores. Staples has attempted to respond by launching subscription-based office supply and tech support services. While inventive, these initiatives have proved unable to offset the overall downturn in big-box retail sales. By early 2024, rumors of more extreme reorganization began to swirl, with insiders hinting at large-scale cost-cutting measures on the way. Complicating matters is Staples' private equity ownership, which has always encouraged the company to focus on e-commerce while reducing its physical presence. While this method resulted in short-term savings, it may have left the shop unprepared to adapt its in-store experience, contributing to its declining relevance. To make matters worse, supply chain issues in 2024 resulted in unpredictable inventory levels, irritating customers, and drove them to online competition. Many industry experts now expect that Staples will lay off thousands of people by 2025, affecting both store-level and corporate personnel. As the company faces these difficulties, Staples' future will be determined by its ability to strike a careful balance between cost-cutting and reinvention, a difficult effort in a sector increasingly dominated by internet companies. Fourth Office Depot, a once tough competitor to Staples, is facing a similar battle for survival, with large layoffs projected in 2025. The retailer has been impacted by the same seismic trends that are shaking the office supply industry: the reduction of in-person purchasing, the increase of remote work, and fierce competition from online marketplaces. Despite efforts to diversify, including rebranding some sites as workonomy hubs, which provide co-working spaces and tech support, Office Depot's 2023 financials showed a 6% decrease in year-over-year revenue. By mid-2024, the firm had already eliminated dozens of failing outlets, generating concerns about more cuts. While officials have tried to convince investors and staff that cost cuts will help to stabilize the business, internal memoranda indicate that layoffs may affect not only shop associates, but also marketing, IT, and supply chain divisions. Office Depot, like Staples, has struggled to preserve its significant brick-and-mortar presence while investing in digital change. This dual focus has harmed business margins and reduced brand relevance, especially as Amazon and other online retailers extend their office supply catalogs with lower pricing and faster delivery options. Previous mergers and acquisitions, including a failed attempt to merge with Staples, failed to produce the efficiency benefits that the company sorely required, with consumer spending slowing in late 2024 and no obvious indications of recovery. Pressure is building to substantially reduce operating expenses. Analysts foresee hundreds of layoffs in 2025, potentially harming the consumer experience and limiting the company's ability to innovate. Office Depot's ability to weather this storm will be determined by its ability to efficiently optimize operations while discovering new ways to connect with customers in an increasingly digital environment. 3. Walgreens, one of America's major pharmacy chains, is preparing for what might be a record round of layoffs in 2025. The chain has been dealing with revenue challenges and fierce competition. Walgreens reported a 4% decrease in total sales by late 2023, with non-pharmacy item sales falling 6% year-on-year. The issues worsened in 2024 when the company faced increased competition from CVS, Walmart Health, and online pharmacy services, as well as chronic supply chain disruptions that harmed its market position in key prescription categories. Insurers and pharmacy benefit managers cut payment rates, putting additional pressure on already narrow profit margins. Walgreens' net profits for the second quarter of 2024 plummeted 9%, forcing executives to begin a comprehensive cost-cutting initiative. Insiders believe that this evaluation may result in thousands of layoffs, potentially affecting pharmacy technicians, shop associates, and corporate teams in logistics, IT, and management. Modernization efforts, such as partnerships for in-store health clinics and enhanced telemedicine services, have failed to overcome income decreases. Meanwhile, the advent of e-commerce for non-prescription items has further reduced foot traffic, exacerbating the chain's problems. Labor shortages and salary inflation in early 2024 drove up operating costs, leaving Walgreens with little options other than severe staff cuts in 2025. While the business has highlighted the need of streamlining operations and promoting high-margin services, opponents warn that eliminating too much may jeopardize Walgreens' ability to provide the customer service and pharmacy expertise that distinguishes it from cheaper online alternatives. As 2025 approaches, Walgreens will need to strike a delicate balance between decreasing costs and retaining its reputation for dependable, high-quality service, a balance that could determine its destiny in an increasingly competitive environment. Second, Target, long seen as a retail powerhouse, may confront a watershed moment in 2025 as it prepares for widespread layoffs. Although the company survived during the epidemic, aided by increasing online sales, the post-pandemic retail market has been far less sympathetic. By late 2023, Target reported a 5% reduction in comparable store sales due to lower consumer demand and severe competition from Amazon and Walmart. The corporation has spent extensively on its internet platform, curbside pickup, and same-day delivery services. While these initiatives have increased customer convenience, they have also reduced profit margins to 3.8% in fiscal 2023, down from 5.6% in fiscal throughout 2021. Throughout 2024, supply chain bottlenecks and growing logistics costs stressed businesses, while wage inflation drove operating costs even higher. Target's inventory turnover has slowed significantly, leaving the store with more unsold items beyond 2025, a major concern for experts. Internal reports showed underperformance in previously strong areas, such as clothes, home goods, and technology. Target's expansion into smaller urban outlets has likewise struggled to produce results. Higher rents and overhead expenditures have surpassed expected sales volumes, putting extra pressure on the bottom line. Target's financial health appears to be deteriorating since net income is dropping faster than total revenue. According to insiders, significant employment reductions are on the horizon, possibly affecting both store-level employees, particularly in suburban sites with declining foot traffic, and corporate responsibilities in marketing, merchandising, and e-commerce. Investors are expecting a leaner, more profitable Target, leaving executives with few options but to take harsh changes. As Target approaches 2025, its capacity to adapt and innovate will be important. The question is whether the corporation can regain its footing without jeopardizing the brand identity and consumer loyalty it has created over the years. 1. Walmart, the largest private employer in the United States with over 2 million employees worldwide, is preparing for one of the most substantial rounds of layoffs in its history in 2025. Despite its reputation as a retail behemoth, Walmart has encountered increasing problems in recent years. By 2023, the company's growth engine began to stall, with third-quarter revenue increasing by only 2% year-on-year, a far cry from the solid 6% annual growth it enjoyed prior to the pandemic. Adding to the strain, net profit margins fell from 3.1% in 2022 to 2.7% in 2023 as pay hikes and growing fulfillment costs for online purchases took their toll. In 2024, Walmart will invest billions of dollars to improve its e-commerce capabilities, including extending marketplace alliances, improving delivery operations, and implementing new in-store technologies. While these initiatives enhanced operational efficiency, they have yet to generate the earnings bump that executives had hoped for. This has prompted firm executives to propose reducing ambitious expansion ambitions and focusing on core operations. Labor expenditures, which are one of Walmart's largest expenses, have been a main focus for cost-cutting. Insiders say the company is evaluating underperforming supercenters and investigating leaner staffing methods such as shop consolidations and increasing automation to boost margins. Walmart's international subsidiaries have also weighed on its bottom line, with numerous areas falling short of estimates for 2024. Meanwhile, rising interest rates and cautious consumer spending, particularly among cost-conscious customers, have slowed same-store sales growth in key regions. Analysts believe that Walmart's 2025 restructure would result in tens of thousands of layoffs, including in-store associates, distribution center workers, and corporate employees. While such harsh steps may temporarily improve the retailer's financial performance, others warn about the long-term effects. Reducing personnel too quickly risks harming Walmart's customer service and operational efficiency, both of which have been vital to the company's supremacy in the U.S. retail sector. As Walmart navigates these stormy waters, the stakes could not be higher. How it manages cost cutting while keeping its competitive advantage will influence its future and the fortunes of numerous employees in the coming years.